What's going on, guys, and welcome to the next Crack a Pack episode. Today we are opening up, I think for the first time on this channel, a Dark Ascension pack. It might have been a very long time ago when we opened one, but I don't believe we have. Not too much in value either with this set. There's a few good things. Machias the Unhallowed is actually sitting at the top at $32 at Card Kingdom, mainly because it deals with humans, which in Modern is a very big deal. Obviously, sitting below that, we have Thalia, which is a very good card, sitting around $13, and then Sorin, Lord of Innistrad, sitting right around $10. So there is still some value here, but hopefully we get something interesting. Of course, we're going to look at this from the limited environment, so we'll do the best we can to determine what our Pack 1 Pick 1 will be. I did not draft during this time, and I am not the best when it comes to drafting, so I'll do the best I can, but feel free to disagree with me in the comment section below. That is perfectly fine. So let's get right into it. Break of Day, 1 and a white for an instant. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. This also has Fateful Hour. If you have 5 or less life, those creatures are also indestructible this turn. This seems like an okay go wide card. I would never first pick something like this, but I definitely think there's instances where you would run it. The next card, Gruesome Discovery, 2 and 2 black for a sorcery. Target player discards 2 cards. It also has Morbid, so if a creature died this turn, instead that player reveals his or her hand, you choose 2 cards from it, and then that player discards those cards. I don't know if this is actually playable. It seems like a worse mind rot most of the time. That being said, I'm sure there are instances where you can really exploit this. And so I feel like if you can trigger the Morbid cost, or the Morbid mechanic, this card would be actually really good. But on turn 4, they're probably starting to play out some of their good stuff, and they might not have much left. So probably wouldn't want to pick that. Screeching Scab is a 2/1 for 1 and a blue. When it enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. I don't remember if there's much self-mill synergy in this set, but there is zombie synergy. I do remember that. And so you might be able to make this worth it. I really don't know, unfortunately. Again, having not played this set, I'm not 100% on that. Nearheath Stalker is a 4/1 for 4 and a red with Undying. So when this dies, if it had no +1/+1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. This seems really good to me in comparison to the rest of the pack so far. It's a pretty strong beater. Yes, it dies easily, but it's probably going to take another creature with it, or at least a burn spell. And it always opens up for a 2-for-1 because it's going to come back the first time. So I really like that. Crushing Vines is 2 and a green for an instant. Choose one, destroy target creature with flying, or destroy target artifact. This seems like a decent card, mostly sideboard, though I will say the fact that it hits creatures with flying means you can probably run it mainboard and be just fine with it. I would not run more than one, but I probably wouldn't first pick it either. I definitely think it has its place and I'd want one if I was in green, but not first pick. Gather the Townsfolk is 1 and a white. Put 2 1/1 white human creature tokens onto the battlefield. It also has Fateful Hour, and if you have 5 or less life, put 5 of those tokens onto the battlefield instead. I actually really like this card. It's also going to be a 2-for-1 most of the time because you're getting 2 creatures for the price of 1, and they're going to have to deal with that. I really like that card. I'm going to keep that over here. Falconwrath Torturer is 2 and a black for a 2/1. You can sacrifice a creature and it gains flying until end of turn. If the sacrificed creature was a human, put a +1/+1 counter on the Torturer. Obviously good with some of these human tokens, and seems like a really powerful card. I think I would rather have like Gather the Townsfolk over this card, but I do think if I had Gather the Townsfolk, I'd probably want this as well. But I'll keep it in the right pile for now, just because I think I'd rather have this. Heavy Mattock is an artifact equipment for 3 with an equip cost of 2, and the creature gets +1/+1. As long as it's a human, it gets an additional +1/+1. Obviously, kind of filler, but probably decent in a human's deck. And if you really needed to run it in any deck, you actually could. So it's perfectly fine, but not first pickable. Young Wolf, this card is fantastic. It's a 1/1 for 1 green with Undying. So again, if it dies, it comes back with a +1/+1 counter on it. I really like this card. I think this is fantastic. I don't know if it's better than the other 2, but I will put it here for now. Wow, this card's great. So CoCaptain is our first uncommon. I believe, yes, first uncommon. It's a 2/2 for 1, a white and a blue. It has flying, and other spirits you control get +1/+1 and have hexproof. This card is fantastic if you can pick up enough spirits to make it worth it. I don't know how prevalent spirits were in this set. Obviously, zombies and humans were huge, but I would imagine if you picked up something that generated some of these tokens, like a, what's the card? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Lingering Souls. Thank you. If you pulled something like a Lingering Souls, this card would be fantastic. And there we go. Tower Geist is 3 and a blue for a 2/2. It is a spirit. It has flying, and when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. I think this goes ahead and shows me that I should probably go with spirits, though I wouldn't take that over the captain. Altar of the Lost. 3 for an artifact. It enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it and add 2 mana of any combinations of colors to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast spells with flashback from the graveyard. Not great in my opinion. I think mana ramp that's like super focused on something like that tends not to be very good, so I probably wouldn't pick that. And we have a Mythic. So Havengul Lich is a 4/4 for 5, and you can pay 1. You may cast target creature card from a graveyard this turn. When you cast that card this turn, Havengul Lich, gains all activated abilities of that card until end of turn, and that definitely is most likely the pick. We do have one more card here. Scorned Villager is a 1/1 for 1 and a green. You can tap it to add green to your mana pool, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if no spells were cast, you can transform it into a 2/2 with Vigilance that can tap to add 2 to your mana pool, and then if somebody casts 2 or more spells last turn, you transform it back. Definitely not the pick. The Lich is gonna have to be it, though Drug Captain is a great card, so I could definitely see that too. Havengul Lich, though, doesn't pigeonhole you into any particular strategy. It is 2 colors, so it's a little bit weird, but other than that, it's a fantastic card, and it gives you recursion to literally all of your creatures, so that seems good. Also, it's just a 4/4 beater, so definitely my pick. Hopefully you guys agree. If you don't, please let me know in the comment section below. And as always, please make sure to like and comment anyway if you did enjoy this video. Also, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of our content. We've got tons of it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that as well. But I'm going to get out of here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next Crack It Back video.